can see you there. Hello, how are you? Yes, it's me. Well, I've come home and I found my old mate, Movie Cynic, slagging off my second favourite Superman movie, Man of Steel. Second favourite after Superman the movie, which is the best. I was so enraged, I had to go and take it out. Poor old Bob here. Sorry, Bob. Anyway, I'd like to take this opportunity to talk about why Man of Steel is the second best Superman movie. Now, it is a deeply flawed film. There is a lot wrong with it. It's too gloomy. Not enough opportunity for Superman to sort of display a lighter and hopeful sense. The characterization of Pa Kent goes from brilliant in some moments to terrible in others. Pa Kent would never tell Superman to let him die. Superman would never let it happen. So Pa Kent's death, terrible. And 3, too much collateral damage in the final act without Superman making any effort to help rebuild Metropolis at the end, or perhaps steer the battle away from civilians. So yeah, very flawed. I understand the intent was to show what would happen if beings of that level of power had a fight in the middle of a city. That was sort of Snyder's intent, but yeah, the idea is a good one, but the execution and realization not so good. And of course, killing Zod, I've come and gone on that one, and I do believe Zod had a death wish, which was consistent with his character. Probably the only consistent part of his character, because his whole storyline is nonsense. Another weakness in the film. But yeah, killing Zod like that, the writers really put themselves in a corner. Apparently David Goyer had to convince Christopher Nolan that was the way to go. And ahhed on it. In the end, probably not. However, I believe the film gets a lot more right than wrong. Key is the look of Superman. I mean, when Henry Cavill first appears in that costume, it's like Superman stepped off the page of a comic. You know, I got chills in the cinema seeing that. Yeah, so that's a start. I like the flight scene. He had to learn to fly. I liked that his relationship with Mark Kent, he and Diane Lane, terrific together, a lot of chemistry. At that time, also some beautiful establishing shots of Kansas. Snyder uses a really more diverse color palette, a lot lighter color palette than his other films, and it really works. Also used some of my favorite Chris Cornell songs, Seasons. Rest in peace, Chris Cornell. What else? The Smallville battle, I think, still holds the sort of standard for a battle between beings of that kind of power. I think it really is more impressive than a lot of the stuff we see in Marvel films, because there's an element of CGI, as well as one bit of brilliance there is that Snyder has the soldiers and the armed forces there, so they contrast the power of the Kryptonians to these mortal men who are so easily crushed by them, and that really shows. Also, Superman, has to intervene and save some of them. Yeah, now that, I guess, is my final point. In this film, Superman saves a lot of people. He doesn't save a cat from a tree, but he saves a busload of kids, the oil workers, his mum. Doesn't save his dad, which really is really out of character and really wrong, but he does end up saving the whole human race, and I think that really redeems the film. Oh, the score is brilliant. I think Hans Zimmer did a wonderful job with this score. It's distinctive. I still listen to some of the score now, many, many years later. I thought Michael Shannon was a decent Zod. Russell Crowe was a brilliant Jor-El. Kevin Costner could have done more with that role, but it wasn't written very well. And Diane Lane was a great Mark Kent. And I'll finish with this. Amy Adams, brilliant actress. The first Lois Lane, who didn't annoy the hell out of me. Margot Kidder just squawked and screamed and was terrible. Good actress, but very damsel in distress role. Amy Adams' character was written to be a little more assertive, but Adams, because she's such a good performer, did a great job with that. And rather than becoming really abrasive and awful, she became quite a compassionate character. And you understand. I actually thought the idea of having her establish Superman, that it's not that she is fooled by the glasses and and the hair, that she knows from day one he's Superman. It gets rid of that. I thought it was quite bold. And I really will finish with this. I'm sorry. I'm going to give Nolan and Snyder and Goyer and Crowe big props for doing something different. Superman Returns, which come before, was an homage to the Donner Superman films, and it failed. You know, it felt like a hollow copy. Snyder and Nolan and Goyer tried something different, and the results were mixed, but it was bold, and I like that. And it gave us Henry Cavill as Superman, which is something that I'll always be a fan of. So yeah, take that, Movie Cynic. Man of Steel is not so bad. Cheers. I mean, if you don't know the Movie Cynic, check him out. He's got some great takes on films. Like and subscribe to his channel. You know, I'm not really that mad at him. It's just yeah, he's just wrong. That's all. Cheers.